All right, so welcome everybody. If you had pizza, I'm sorry that you're still forcing yourself to be awake at this point. 40-year-old innovator, because we all know if you're 40, you shouldn't still be a innovator, right? That's what we've all learned. So I want to talk to you about innovation and how that should be a part of who we are, regardless of how old or young we might be or how new or established our organizations might be. Because there's a blank screen right here, and it has my name on it. Did not expect. I just love my name so much. Did not want you to forget it. This is my name, everybody. Did I go the wrong? This is probably my fault. I'm going backwards. Because I was holding it upside down. I was going the right direction, but I was holding it upside down. Look at that. Awesome. Got it. So my name is, does anybody remember my name? Good job, everybody. So my name is Shawn Duncan. You saw that part. I work for an organization called Focused Community Strategies, or FCS. We are a 40-plus-year-old community development organization that's working in the city of Atlanta since the late 70s. I'll say more about us in a minute. It is a core value to who we are to be innovative. Because we believe innovation is not about how you start, it's about who you are. And that's what I want to talk about with you this afternoon. We believe in innovation as a core value because from our experience of on-the-ground partnerships in neighborhoods in Atlanta for 40 years, we have seen that the problems that we're facing are extremely complicated and they're always changing. That even if we create something today that really works and moves the needle forward, it might only be a few months or a few years before that solution really isn't all that helpful anymore, right? There are so many forces outside of our control that are at work in our neighborhoods and our communities in this city that we can't just simply establish a program or an approach or a project or a model and just hit repeat over and over. Even if it's successful and exciting today, it may not be tomorrow, right? And we always believe that better solutions are always available. Even if what we're doing is working and it continues to work, there's always a better way to still do it even then. So I want to dispel a myth, since we're talking about innovation, that innovation does not belong to anyone, right? Regardless of your age, right? There's kind of this like image of an innovative person being like in their 20s and in their parents' garage and they're tech geniuses, right? And they're building some kind of app. Those people exist and that's wonderful, but innovation is not the sole property of that type of person. Our founder of FCS is in his mid-70s, all right? Still has pleats on his khakis, you know, one of those guys. And he just found out about Uber Eats pretty recently. He was like, so how'd we get this lunch in this meeting? Like, Uber Eats, what is that? And we're like, he's never heard of Uber Eats. This is awesome. But it's like getting to explain like landing on the moon to someone who didn't know we did that, you know? Blew his mind. It was amazing. We believe that innovation can and should be a part of the culture of what we do, regardless if we're for-profit or nonprofit, a new organization, an established one, regardless of what issues we're working on, innovation needs to be built into who we are. And here's how we do that. Innovation is a part of who we are because we believe in creating a mission that is bigger than our organization. We want to create a mission that in some sense is something that we'll never be able to fully live into. A mission that's kind of like that carrot on the stick that forces us all the time to strive, to grow, to change, to evaluate. And so if we want to be innovative as a part of who we are and not just how we get started, because even if you're a startup right now, you're going to have to be innovative. But it could be pretty easy a few years in to just get that establishment mentality to protect and preserve what you have innovated and started. But if your mission is bigger than your project, right, bigger than the thing that you're building, then you can force yourself into this place of perpetual innovation. For us, our mission that is bigger than our organization is about partnering with neighborhoods to see them thriving and flourishing. We are in the neighborhood of South Atlanta, which is an actual neighborhood. It's not like everything below Interstate 20, right? We partner with neighborhoods in this city because we believe that everyone deserves a neighborhood in which to thrive, all people. And so we're trying to work against and find innovative ways to deal with gentrification and economic isolation and all the other things that harm our neighborhoods. And so we've been in partnership with the neighborhood of historic South Atlanta since 2001. If you've never been to South Atlanta, one, please come for a visit. We'd love to show you around. But two, it's this beautiful historic space that post-Civil War is founded because of this partnership between majority and minority cultures, where the Freedmen's Society purchases land and puts that over in the control of African American leaders, and this amazing neighborhood of businesses and educations and homes gets created. One of Atlanta's great HBCUs is partly responsible for the shape of our streets and neighborhood, Clark Atlanta University. Gammon Theological Seminary was birthed in that place as well. One of the main veins of our neighborhood is Gammon Street, named after that. A lot of the professors and presidents of those schools, their names fill up the road signs in the neighborhood. And so we were invited into this partnership in 2001 to reweave the fabric of place. And that 18 or so years of this relationship has been this constant work of evaluation and learning and growing and changing. Anything that we started, I don't know if we're doing anything that we started doing in 2001, other than being present as neighbors, as learning and listening and submitting the future of that neighborhood to the neighborhood itself and not to our organization. Because the mission of the organization is bigger than the organization. It is about flourishing neighborhoods. So if you commit to that as well, you will find some things that happen. First of all, if you put your mission as your bottom line, if you put mission as something that's bigger than your organization, self-perpetuation will not be your goal. Now, we have lots of things that we know we have to do in our neighborhood. If we don't deal with home ownership, affordable housing, if we don't deal with that, we know that the forces of development and gentrification in this city is going to do harm to this neighborhood, right? And so we do. We have had to pour lots of innovative strategies and work into doing housing, doing it well, and doing it right. But our mission isn't just to perpetuate more homes, right? We could easily set up a nonprofit that's about affordable housing, and everyone within arm's reach of Atlanta would scream, "Yeah, we need more affordable housing," and yes, we do, and we're working on that. But that's not our mission. It's a strategy. It's a tactic. It's something that's necessary that has to be done. But we are trying to move towards a flourishing neighborhood, not just a perpetuation of numbers. We've also started a grocery store in a food desert because the other grocery stores wouldn't come and do that. Now, our mission is not fresh produce in a lower income neighborhood. We do that, and we feel like it's necessary to do that. But again, that's a strategy. It's a tactic. It is not our mission. Our mission is a flourishing neighborhood. And so we don't set ourselves up to count the numbers of houses or the numbers of groceries, right? Though we do, but that is not the metric of success. Is the neighborhood healthy? Is it thriving? Are we moving towards flourishing? Our goal is not to perpetuate ourselves or our own brand, right? Our goal is a flourishing of place. Another thing that will happen if your mission is bigger than your organization, if you're making the mission your bottom line to judge the success of what you're doing, your table gets bigger because it's not about protecting the one ego of one leader, right? It is not even about protecting the one ego of the whole organization and preserving its well-being. That you're forced to say, our mission is so important, we have to value a diverse table. Diversity isn't a PR tactic. It is crucial to making the mission happen, right? If we're only listening to people who think like us, then our mission isn't going to be fulfilled. Now, if my mission is self-perpetuation, if my mission is just to build those affordable houses and count as many as possible, then I don't need to listen to people who are going to criticize that, right? I don't need to listen to people who are going to poke holes in that and say, listen, here's what you don't understand about that, right? We don't need to sit with the Civic League and ask if this is the right direction to go or let them critique strategies and change the direction of what we're doing. The table becomes bigger because the mission of flourishing neighborhoods mean proximity is going to have to matter, right? If the neighborhood isn't in charge, then our work doesn't matter, right? This isn't about developing a model or a strategy that works and just dropping it wherever we feel like it might fit, right? It's about creating a table where these voices can speak in, because the mission is more important than our organization. And if mission's your bottom line, if you're creating a mission that is bigger than your organization, you will be committed to constantly self-evaluating and self-critique. Not too long ago, so if you do good work, somebody's going to be pissed off and write things about you. It's just going to happen. And so it happens to us too, just like it's happened to a number of you. And so what our team doesn't do is get in a room and complain and moan about it and attack the person that wrote the concern piece. We, real time, just 2 weeks ago, sat down with an article as leaders and said, what can we learn from this? All right? Is this true about us? Is this naming some blind spots that we just don't want to see, right? Because every nonprofit, which we are, you need to tell great stories about yourselves so the funding works, right? And it's hard to be like, hey, funders, we really screwed it up. You want to keep donating to us? But to be in this place of constant evaluation, constant healthy self-critique, right? That there's never a sense of mission accomplished, it's all done. Because when the driving question is this neighborhood flourishing or thriving? Not, did we sell enough groceries? Not, did we build enough houses? Not, did we create enough programs for after-school kids? And again, all that stuff is vital, but it is secondary to this mission that points us forward. So why innovation? Regardless of age, of person, or of organization, why innovation? Because the problems we're facing are extremely complicated, and they're always changing. Racism, it's not taking a day off, right? Bigotry, misogyny, not them either, right? Evil is going to grasp for the highest seats of power in our county, in our city, in our state, in our nation, in our world. And it's not taking a day off while it's doing that. And we need innovative people, right? Whether they're building app tech or house tech, whatever you're doing, this innovative approach to say we've got to find better solutions. I love that Plywood has this phrase that better is possible. Because here's what's so great about that. If you leave here believing better is possible, and you go out and you create that better, guess what? Better is still possible, right? There's never a sense where this is done. So our hope is that you'll make innovation a part of your culture, not just the method of how you get something started or launched, because our world needs it. Thank you.